What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nunface here. I'm going to do a quick video on this guy right here. This is a classic knife that's really not in production anymore from a real legendary designer and knife maker, Almar. This is the S.E.R.E 2000, okay? So S.E.R.E is S-E-R-E, which is survival, escape, rescue and evade, I believe. That's what S.E.R.E stands for. I always kind of forget that a little bit. But in any case, I'm going to take a quick look at this one right here. I don't know if you watched my unboxing video of it a couple of months back, but I did a video and then things got in the way. I was going to do a review on it sooner, but I didn't quite get around to it. So I'll go ahead and link that in the description below as well. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor and go ahead and click that little box in the corner to subscribe to my videos. Click the little bell. I always appreciate that to kind of get those subscription numbers up. And if you go ahead and put on the alerts as well, you'll get notified whenever I get new content out there. So with that being said, this knife right here is really, it's kind of from a bygone era. They don't quite design and or make knives like this nowadays. So these were, I believe, the last or one of the last batches of knives produced by the Almar company and by various companies in Japan. So as you can see right there, it is VG10 stainless steel from the FM company in Japan. Now it was made, it's my understanding at least, that these were made, or all Almar knives were made by several different companies in Japan, but always in Seki City, which is kind of the Japanese knife making capital, kind of like Mangiano, Italy, for Italian knives. There's city in Taiwan, I can't remember the name of it, but you get what I'm saying. Seki City is the Solingen, Germany of Japan. So a lot of knife making going on there, a lot of cutlery stuff. So unfortunately, since the sale of the company, Almar's death, I believe in the early 90s, mid 90s, 1992, 1994, something like that. Since his death, the company was sold to a US-based company, but they do all their manufacturing in China now. So the S.E.R.E 2020 and anything new that's coming out with the name Almar Knives on it is not Japan made. It's going to be Chinese made. At least that's the best to my knowledge right there. But that's just kind of the history on it right there. At least this knife in particular. Almar was a very prolific survivalist and ex-military, and he worked with different ex-military individuals and groups to develop better tools for operators and soldiers in the field to use and to accomplish their tasks. So that being all said, let's go ahead and do a couple specs on this knife real quick. It has about a 3.5-inch blade. So if we're going from the top of the scale right there, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3.5, just a touch over a half, with about if we look at the cutting edge, 1, 2, 3, about 3.25-inch cutting edge right there. Yeah, so that's what we'd be looking at. It's got quite a big ricasso right there. So the plunge goes down, and then there's that unused, unsharpened area right there. Beautiful swedge on it, giving that spear point. That's really going to aid in any sort of penetration that needs to happen with a knife. If you're stabbing into something or someone, that swedge right there, not sharpened obviously, but it does have a little schmutz on the blade right there. It does have that nice swedge, which I really like. Double thumb studs, gotta like that. The construction is going to be G10 liners G10 scales over stainless steel liners with a stainless steel backspacer, and then the stainless steel pocket clip drilled right into that stainless backspacer. So it's going to be pretty heavy. It's not a lightweight knife. I don't have the exact specs on it, but it is going to be, it's not TI. And that's kind of one of its faults, and I'll get a little bit into that later. But we'll go ahead and do a couple size comparisons too. As always, we've got my Spyderco PM2 analog, the Stretch 2 right there, wearing some micarta scales. And let's see, we'll go ahead and move that up a little bit for this. So it's about the same size as the Stretch 2. It's going to be bigger than the Native 5, of course. Let's see, we'll do the Ontario Rat 1 in D2. Pretty much the same size as the Rat 1. Very similar in size and carry profile. Going to have a little bit more cutting edge on the Rat 1. Tried and true, large Sebenza 21. It's going to be about the same length overall as the 21, but the 21 is going to have a longer blade, a little bit longer of a blade. Well, no, actually their blade's going to be about the same. So 3.6, 3.6, but there's going to be more cutting edge on the Sebenza 21. Actually, I'll leave that there. We'll take that one. Let's see what else we have. We're going to do the S.E.R.E Slim MIDI in S90V. That's that DLT exclusive. So it's gonna be bigger, thicker as well than the Slim MIDI, as you can see. Slim MIDI is just a couple of TI scales, and that's got liners and G10, so obviously it's gonna be a little bit thicker than that one. What else did I bring out today? Cold Steel Recon 1. I don't know why I picked this one as a size comparison. Maybe it'd give you a better idea if you're unfamiliar with the Recon 1, just how big the Recon 1 series of knives is. These are beasts. Almost a 4-inch blade. In fact, let me see. Is that a 4-inch blade? 1, 2, 3. Almost, yeah. 3 and 3/4, 3.8-inch blade, something like that on the Cold Steel Recon 1. So those are huge. Cool blades, definitely. And let's see. Last but not least is we have the Hinderer XM 3.5-inch right there. So it's similar in size, maybe a little bit longer overall than the 3.5, and probably similar cutting edge, I would say. Because the Hinderer, yeah, I'd say about the same cutting edge, or pretty darn close, because that 3.5 is that really big oversized choil. That's just kind of a hallmark of the design. So yeah, I've kind of gone through I don't want to say a renaissance, but it really just achieved an appreciation for some of the classical designs out there when it comes to folding knives. If you follow me on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface, you know that I've been getting into some older ZTs and trying to get a few of those. You know, Emerson has really been appealing to me lately, and it's just kind of I don't know if it's a reversion or what you want to call it, but you know, getting away from the latest, newest, greatest thing and kind of looking more into the classics and into the roots and when things were made a little bit differently when it comes to folding knives. And so this knife definitely factors into that, and it kind of appeals to me in that way. So, I mean, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I've got knives that will do the same job as this with arguably a better steel than VG10, that is going to weigh less and is going to have better materials in general that it's constructed out of, but this just still has an appeal to me. It really does. The simplicity of the design, the classic lines of the design, the ergonomics, the way it feels in hand, it all just really appeals to me. It really does. You know, the blade is not very tall. You know, typically I like blades that are going to be a little bit taller, but you know, it doesn't have that. It's reminiscent of just older things, and it was designed, you know, in a different period. The S.E.R.E knives were developed and designed and made, you know, whether it was Almar's Customs or it was the more mass-produced models that were made in Japan. You know, they were just a different style. You know, these can be had still. There's still some of these out here, the 2020s. I think Knife Center may have them in stock. You can see them on eBay. You know, they're out there. They're not completely gone, but just know that you can no longer get any of the Japanese-made Almar knives. If you get something, it's going to be new old stock. They're not making them in Japan anymore. They're not making them in Seki City. They're all going to be made, you know, in China. And the quality is likely going to show. Now, you know, I don't want to have contempt prior to examination because I've never had one of the Chinese Almars, but I've handled kind of cheaper Chinese knives before, and the price point on those is all in the $40 to $60 range, and you know they're not going to be everything, you know, they're not going to be all that great as far as quality goes. So I think if you're in the market for something like this, trying to find an Mar S.E.R.E or anything that was made in Japan is going to be the way to go. Whether it's the Eagle, the Falcon, any of his different designs, getting those Japanese-made ones is going to be the key before they've completely dried up. Like I say, there's still some out there, but they're not as available as they used to be. Anyway, kind of go back a little bit on this guy right here. I love the G10. I love the texturing on it. It does use that kind of that panel style construction, which, you know, the industry's really moved away from. So you've got those standoffs right there in the back. Then you've got, you know, the stainless liners, and you've got your G10 kind of screwed into the top of the liners. That's definitely another older style of construction that doesn't really get utilized anymore. typically what you would see is you would see, your standoffs, then you would see all of your construction, your screws going in and directly into the standoffs. You wouldn't have them bolted onto into the scale, the way they are. But they've stuck true to that design. As I say, stainless steel liners, pretty thick liners too. No I can't talk right now. They're not skeletonized, other than just the lanyard hole being drilled in right there. And then you've got this stainless steel pocket clip, going to be a deep carry pocket clip for sure. I mean, it goes all the way right up to the top, and it's bolted on with two Phillips head screws right there into the backspacer, that stainless backspacer as well. The clip it kind of is what it is. It does its job well. It's reasonably springy. It's not the greatest pocket clip in the world, but it kind of gets the job done. It's not as good as a spring TI or anything like that, but it's decent. And it definitely puts the knife low in your pocket. So if you're looking for that, then you're gonna think this clip is okay. I'm not a particularly huge fan of deep carry. I don't mind things being a little more shallow in the pocket, shallow in the pocket, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. But it definitely works, and it fulfills its intended function. The finishing on the stainless liners into the backspacer is really nice too. I mean, yeah, there's some gapping right there, but this is a production knife. This isn't like it's a custom or anything like that, but it's nicely brush finished. Looks really good. So it's definitely got some visual appeal right there. The thumb studs on this guy, nice double studs, the mirror images of each other. Based on the construction and how the plunge grind is, it's not going to get in the way of the cutting path at all. One thing that's kind of moving up to the blade, beautiful belt satin finish on this. I really like that a lot. It looks just great. I've got a KME edge on that. Brought it to a fairly nice polish. VG10 is just one of those steels that really does take a nice edge and nice polish. You can get a real fine, crisp edge on it, and it'll take a nice polish without too much effort as well. So, I figured I'd go full polish on this one. It's not the greatest in the world, but at the same time, it's not total amateur hour either. It looks pretty good. But you'll notice that you do get a little bit of a smile going into the corner right there when you're going from the edge to the ricasso, and that's just because the way the plunge is done. I have a visitor. Yes, honey, what can I do for you? Oh, I don't know, honey. We'll figure it out in a minute. Can you give Daddy about 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sweetie. That was my youngest right there. She's a little visitor. In any case, yeah, getting back to the grind right there. So you're going to notice if you take it all the way down and you're using a guided system, you're going to get that little smile right there, that beard going on. So it might be something that I do, create a choil right down here or something like that. I don't know. I may not mess with it. This is going to perform pretty well with just dropping for quite a while. So we'll just kind of see by the next sharpening if that's something that I want to do. Lockup on it is nice right there. No problems there. It's always had a good lockup. Nothing's really changed on that. However, the stainless steel liners, and this is where the benefit of titanium over stainless kind of comes in. The detent's not great on it. And when I actually disassembled it and I flexed the lock bar over a little bit, steel does not have, I guess you can, if you heat treat it a certain way, if it's a certain type of steel, you can get it where it's got a real nice springiness to it, but this stainless in particular does not have a fantastic springiness to it and a good memory like titanium. That's one of the benefits of titanium as a liner material, is it's got a great memory, so to speak, when it's flexed, and it also has a great springiness to it. So, I'm not a metallurgist, but if you bend it in a certain place, it'll have a memory, it'll stay right there, and it'll spring back with authority and with strength to its original form. This one I bent over a little bit and it just kind of went, and it wanted to kind of stay where it was, and it didn't have a lot of springiness to it. So you're just kind of going to have to deal, unless you want to, change detent sizes or start drilling on the blade, you're going to have to deal with a not fantastic detent. It will kind of flop open. It's not easy to open up. You've got to give it a decent, in fact, it's not as bad as I remember it being. You've got to give it a decent shake in order to get it to open up. But it's not a super strong detent, but it does flick out every time with authority. I can try to do it that way, but I'm going to muff it on camera. Well, I got it the second time, so that's not so bad. But it's got a decent action. It is running on nylon washers. I should mention that. I don't think I did. So not PB or bearings or anything like that. It's running on good old-fashioned nylon washers, and it's very smooth, very nice on deployment and close, as you can see. In any case, I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. Mar S.E.R.E 2000 knife. Still available from some retailers. They're still out there in new old stock. These are the Seki City made, kind of the last of the Japanese made Almars. So if something like this interests you and you want to pick it up, I would definitely recommend doing it sooner rather than later, because they are not going to be around forever. They have dried up almost everywhere, but there are a few places that you may still be able to find them. So that'll do it for me today. Go ahead and give me a follow. As always, once again, go ahead and click that little button in the side and subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you turn on the alerts and you get notified of new content as soon as it comes up. Give me a follow on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface, and I will keep working on some more material and content for y'all. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.